Oh, I cut that close, didn't I? Hello everybody. Welcome to Friday. It's me. It's Kenny G. No, it doesn't work. Brian B. There we go. Oh my God, look at that. Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. I won't lie to you. Oh wow, we have 603 followers. Hold on. We'll do a little house cleaning or housekeeping before we get started. Digital Warhead, thank you so much for re-upping your subscription to us. Myself, Mr. Berlin, Mr. Betcher. Appreciate you giving of yourself to help with offsetting costs here. So thank you so much for that. 013 Hist, Ashnarak, and Dovakin 94. There we go. Thank you all for following me, us, and yeah, appreciate hanging out. So, going back to my initial question, which it's always something. I really need a what do they call that? A checklist. I need a checklist for my checklist to remind myself to look at the checklist. Thanks everybody for coming out. Joining me today. It's Friday, so everybody's on edge a little bit. Well, at least I am. We woke up to discussing, layoffs at big companies. Holy shit, Meta is just, whew, good Lord. It's a rough deal, if you work at Meta or recently worked at Meta and no longer are working at Meta, my apologies to you. Nobody ever wants to be laid off. Nobody ever wants to, I would hope that nobody ever wants to lay people off. Something I learned in my Harvard business class that, I was, I'll show you some of it. I worry about showing too much because I'm not sure if I can show a ton of stuff, but some of the things that we were talking about during that class was, what is it that our company, values, and if a company is working to satisfy, and they mentioned a company named Medtronic, which is a healthcare medical device company. And one of the things that they talked about in there was, what do we value? We value our employees. We value making sure that we're putting out a good product or device. We make sure that they always mention the employees. They always mention the stakeholders as well. They always mention doctors and partners and people and devices, making sure your devices are good because that brings value to the company. And the class was like, oh yeah, some of the feedback that I saw from some of the other people in the cohort was, oh yeah, people are always the last, which I found interesting. If you do it in terms of like how they value people or value things, it's always, making sure the product is good, but oh yeah, last is our employees, and we're trying to make sure that they get a good experience out of their company. I'm like, if people were valued as highly as the devices or the things themselves, there wouldn't be layoffs, right? And that is fairly true. I mean, the stakeholders always win, right? They have to show a profit or there won't be people. And unfortunately, it seems like some of the stuff that Meta has done in the past year or two hasn't done well for people. And, there's 11,000 people who are now unemployed from Meta, from what I understand. And it's sad because it sounds like a great product. I mean, the way the marketing people make it sound, it's the future. It's going to be like, the holodeck. It's going to be like the holodeck minus, a janky helmet. And we're just not there yet. And it was probably fairly ambitious, but yeah, it's rough. Wow. According to Forrester, 40% of teens 12 to 17 say they use Facebook weekly. Yeah. No. I don't think it's 40%. I don't think 40% of teens 12 to 7, I think they say they use Facebook, but it's probably because their parents, put something cool on there. CPO Parker, hello. Hey, Walter, how you doing? Saw a management clip that said their primary job for middle and upper management should be their people. Yeah, this is, this is the discussion they had here. Um, you know, value creating activities. Some of the stuff that we're going through here is talking about um, architect model or leaders. The session before this was leader as a beacon. Creating vision, strategy, purpose of mission, identity, which is kind of the upper part. The leader is the architect. If people are watched after, then everything else follows. That's true, Walt. That's very true. Yeah. So their whole thing about creating value here is understanding organizational conditions, motivation, competence, coordination. Formal organization, culture, and people is kind of a revolving circle in all directions. People bring the culture, which bring organization, which bring more people. The idea is you want a good work culture, you want a good organization, you want organizational strength is something that they mentioned as well. And then of course with those you come with people being motivated, like you said, CPO. If people are watched after, then everything else follows. If the culture's good and the people there are happy where they're working and they believe in the product, ideally, there it is. Sorry. Ideally, everything should be good and everybody should be talking to one another, and you start creating value. My thing is though, it's really hard, right? Especially with, I think that there's an unsaid thing here, not just in terms of creating value creating activities. It's the culture. I think this is one of those things. The culture of the company, at least there should be an external and an internal culture idea here, right? How is the company perceived outside versus internally? There's a lot of people inside of an org. They believe in. That's why managers get paid the big bucks. Do they? Isn't part of the culture of a company the people itself, not just the management? I mean, if I hated my coworkers to the point where I was looking for another job, or I work on a product, I think that one of the, and I've mentioned this to my boss, it's like it's hard to get behind a product I wouldn't use, right? I work when I first moved over to this new department. It was on a project and a program that when they explained to me what it was, I was like, I wouldn't use this. And I realize either I'm not the demographic they want, or I don't, it's not that I don't see the value in it. It's so niche that it would be somewhat, it's only made for a certain group of people, or certain conditions have to be met for me to want to use this. One, me not being in security would be one of those things, because there's obviously, issues there. Not from a security point of view, mind you, but it's like, it's like a hockey puck waxer. I don't play hockey. I don't want to live in an icy place. I don't own a hockey stick. I don't own hockey gloves, and you spend $1 billion on a hockey puck waxer. And I'm like, okay, great. You know? Oh, see, so that is semi-joking, but solving people problems is hard. So management is paid well to work on this hardest of problems, people. Yeah, yeah, I can definitely see that. I think that there's definitely um, uh, management does need to do that to a certain point. Um, I think, yeah, I don't know. It's complicated, man. It's complicated. But and there's another part of this next week, not this week, but I'm learning about leaders and architect right now, trying to create value effectiveness and creating value creating activities. Value creating activities is not like attending meetings, and it's not like um, uh, what do they call it? Committing code or something like that. It's um, yeah. So see, Medtronic. This person works at Medtronic. His name is Quelly Thompson. Talks about some of the strategic imperatives, focusing on the customer, on the patient. This is the transcript from the video that I was watching. Do you understand the customer? You can isolate opportunities to deliver value. So in this case, he's talking about a pacemaker or something that is. There's a new technology that they've got called Micro Medtronic. Interstem Micro. That is not it. Mm, no, there it is. Micra. There we go. This is the pacemaker that they have created called Micra, and it's a pacemaker for people. Instead of using this big bulky thing with a lead and everything that goes into it, you can put it up through an artery in your groin, up into the heart, and it will cause the heart to beat, which is revolutionary. They've miniaturized it. This is not anything secret. It's here. Actual size. Here's the actual size. It's about the size of a nickel, U.S. nickel. Um, but they're talking about the value that this brings to the customer. So miniaturization means you don't have to worry about carrying around or damaging this kind of thing here, where you've got a lead, and you've got something that's going into your body, and you don't have risk of infection, and this has to be implanted, which means either they have to crack your chest or they have to find some place to put it, like under a flap of skin, so you've got this really unsightly looking thing in your chest. But this thing fits inside your heart, and that's it. Um, yeah. So it's kind of interesting. So anyway, he was talking about the value of those things, and miniaturization, creating value. It's a quality of life kind of thing. But yeah, it's just interesting that there's challenges and there's innovations, and let me see. Yeah, given their constituencies' needs and contextual landscape, determining ways they can create value for the constituencies today, tomorrow, and years from now. And they're talking about, like, you know, the now plan, the 1 year plan, 3 years plans. Yeah, 1 year. Yeah, there we go. We're gonna some of the exercises I'm gonna be doing in the next few sections here is creating a 1 and a 3 year timeline, which ironically enough we do at our workplace, and we just got done with. So it's going to be kind of fun to go back and look through some of these items. Um, but yeah, so it feels like, especially with the layoffs at Facebook, um, there's the value wasn't there, or somebody really believed in the product that nobody else believed in, and that could be yeah, here we go, 11,000 employees. I did hear that they took really good care of them in terms of severance. They get like 4 months of severance plus another. It's a lot. So they are managing the insurance for another 6 months. They're giving them job placement help. Anybody who's here on a work visa is going to be able to continue that. I'm not sure how that works, but they have immigration lawyers and stuff to help folks out. So I mean, at least I don't want to say they're doing as from what I understand, that's pretty much de rigueur in the EU and elsewhere. But they didn't have to do that stuff. So it's nice to see that they're actually, there it is right here, 16 weeks base pay plus 2 additional weeks every year of service, no cap. All remaining PTO time will be paid out, obviously. RSU vesting, everyone on November 15th who got vestitures will get them. Cover the healthcare cost of healthcare for 6 months. Career services, they get unpublished job leads and access to career support and immigration support. So that's pretty sweet, that they're going that next mile. So it does sound like maybe somebody at Facebook was like, yeah, maybe we fucked up by spending all this money on something that's awful. Thank you, Lady P. Appreciate you using your Prime Gaming. What up? Appreciate you. But Yeah, I mean, if I had worked at Meta and this was the thing that I was responsible for securing, I would have had a hard time with this. But and I know that there's some people out there that are like, you shouldn't have to believe in the product to want to secure it. I think there's some care there. I think you have to care to want to help, because to care breeds passion, right? And breeds desire that to want to make the thing that you would be willing to use better. I know a lot of security people, either by dint or what have you, don't have the little helper things, the Google assistants or the Alexa assistants, or whatever's where they can say, hey Google, turn on the lights or whatever. Um, there it is. Okay. Hey Google, turn off the lights. There we go. That's all mine does. That I don't even ask it to do anything else. Thank you, Google. Anyway, um, there's doing the basic job, and then there's willing to go the extra mile to take ownership of the role. You're absolutely correct, Lady P. Absolutely. And you know what? Maybe it's a sign of immaturity for me that I can't just walk in and go, yes, I want to help make the most secure hockey puck waxer that I can ever make. You know, internet connected hockey puck waxer. And it's like, you know what? I'll never use it, but there might be somebody in Canada out there that's in love with his hockey puck waxer and wants an internet connected hockey puck waxer, and I need to make sure that they're as secure as they can be. Maybe that's a sign of my own immaturity. I don't know. And one day I'll get there, hopefully. Hopefully quick. Hopefully quick. But yeah, really, really shitty day for Meta. Really shitty day for some of Amazon employees. I think um, the iRobot team. I'm just here for the challenge. The product for me is the job itself. Hmm. That's a good. That's a good thought. That's a good thought. Um, yeah, iRobot. The iRobot people had some layoffs today too. They disclosed some layoffs. Most of theirs, I believe I think they said here yeah, Amazon bought them at $1.7 billion. Company didn't offer a timeline for when the deal would close. Um, a lot of this is M&A type uh, redundancy kind of stuff, sadly. But yeah, so they took out 100 employees, which is not a lot, to be honest. 10% of the workforce, 8% of the workforce. Microsoft also let go of 1,000 people, but Microsoft has what, 180,000 employees, so they got rid of like less than 1% of their workforce. Probably mostly either attrition or people who were potentially underperforming, or what have you. Let me see. Amazon layoffs. Yep. Yeah. So they could be seeing next layoffs. Some people woke up to this saying, Alexa businesses, parts that aren't profitable, maybe and they mentioned Alexa specifically. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see what's going on there. I mean, I apologize for anybody who may work at Amazon. Um, yeah, it's rough because I mean, it's it's hard. So, and there's going to be a right sizing, I think, of a lot of things. I don't want to call this the next .com bubble, but it's definitely a shrinkage, if you will. Um, Lady P says we're 2 quarters into an 8-quarter recession. This happens every 11 years. Keep your heads down, pull your horns in for another 1.5 years. Yeah. With all this stuff going on, I had to ask my boss because there had been, I, it's almost like IOCs, like, are we under attack or whatever? But I had some weird IOCs where it was like, there had, I had an layoffs are also a signal to Wall Street they're trying to do something. Doesn't matter. It might cost more in the short term. Huh. That's a good point, CPO or Walt. Yeah, there was also a few economic indicators that came out that said that we weren't potentially going into a full inflationary or a recession. These indicators were slowing. I don't know exactly what they mean, but yeah, they were talking about some indicators there that were indicating maybe we're through the worst of it. And I don't know if that's people blowing smoke up asses or something. And it's going to be like in a month. Oh, it was worse than we thought. Oh, um, they're trying to drive up the consumer confidence. Yeah, yeah. See, Lady P, that was my thing. It's like, the media is like, oh, maybe we've gone too far and we need to back it up a little bit. Oh, here's these two things that we just pulled out our ass, and they're not as bad, and this is what this means, and we're trying to build confidence. The media is trying to use that playbook. So yeah, so looks like under most scrutiny is the Alexa department, waning popularity and admittedly steep competition. Lineup of smart devices from Amazon haven't been all bad, driving online shopping to the platform in a meaningful way. So sounds like there's going to be some right sizing at Amazon in the near future, in certain areas. Maybe yeah. So it's rough. So um, yeah, I would just say do what you can to stay the course, and U.S. numbers of positions are not the same as the rest of the world. That is true, Walt. It could be worse in other countries. So yeah, um, yeah, we'll see what happens in about 6 months. If interest rates on mortgages start going back down or what have you. Um, so consumers pull their horns in. Their advertisers aren't selling product to customer. Media is the customer, not the viewer. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, 1 second. Blink. Yeah, cool. My wife is on a flight to Vegas. Well, she's coming in for landing now. Good flight. She took her work laptop with her, even though she's going to play Pai Gow poker and Texas Hold'em and craps. She said that the plane is the only place that she seems to be able to do anything because she's completely unplugged from the internet. I was like, I can see that. I can see that. Um, so yeah, she's on the ground. So there she is. Yep, she made it. She's on the ground. Thank you, FlightAware. Uh, some sad news. Not to jump off of the infosec stuff, but I was sad to hear that Kevin Conroy passed away. Most of you don't know who he is, or if you do, we're in a session. Let's go gambling. Um, yeah, my wife's had a really shitty couple of weeks, so she's actually going to hang out with a friend who's hopefully finalizing their divorce soon. Yeah, they're just kind of going out to have a um, divorce party kind of thing. So, but Kevin Conroy, he did the voice acting for Batman pretty much, and he passed away. So Mark Hamill and Tara Strong had some really nice things to say about him. And yeah, he was the voice of Batman for me when I was a kid, going watching the animated series. So I thought that was kind of cool. And the Empire State Building, of course, showing the bad signal for him in a tribute on the Empire State Building. I thought that was pretty classy of them. So, but yeah. Let me see. We had I've got a couple of things here. Oh, I saw a news article about somebody blaming. Oh, there it is. Azov ransomware wipes data, blames a security researcher. So, Checkpoint described Azov ransomware as an effective, fast, and unfortunately unrecoverable data wiper, noting that the malware seems far more focused on destroying data than putting an effort to ransom it. Lady P, I'm pretty yeah. That's getting in a cab. Okay. My wife uses cabs in Vegas. Interesting. She did say it was in like the mid 50s, so it's really nice nice time of year in Vegas at this time. So sure beats 117 in Hacker Summer Camp time. So it says as checkpoints, I'm not even pronouncing it. Vinopal put it. Be careful with this one. If you get infected, the system is basically dead. So I was trying to figure out when I was reading this, do they just wipe everything and then make the user believe that they have data that is ransomwareable? And then once the person, sends the money, it's like, oh, too bad, so sad. I don't, yeah. Malware's ransomware falsely claims it was created by Polish security researcher Hasherazad. Would be Hasherazad, malware analyst, author of PE Bear, PE Sieve, Tiny Tracer, uh, quite a few followers. I don't follow them because they have too many followers. Um, but yeah, so PE Bear. PE Bear is a multi-platform reversing tool for PE files. Oh wow, everybody has a PE analyzer. That's pretty cool. Go check that out. There you go. Oh yeah, that's for later. um, so it directs victims to reach out to her as well as Bleeping Computer, Abrams malware hunter team, Michael Gillespie, and other security researchers to recover files. Oh, I sound unhappy. Azov is the latest evidence that ransomware developers can move away from encrypting data and just said stealing it and destroying it outright. Okay. Lady P. Oh, Lady P. As yeah, my bad. Sorry. Yeah. Um yeah. Oh, I'm actually when I leave the stream here, the next thing I'm gonna do is be calling my local barbecue. Let me call my so I just spit all over myself. Damn you, Lady P. I'm gonna be calling the local barbecue joint to get me some. So, but it's a funny story that just came out. I was gonna talk about that. So, in addition to implicating the security researchers, malware seems designed to frame the Ukraine. Not only is it named after the Azov regiment, but the ransom note claims it's being distributed because the West doesn't help enough Ukraine. Interesting. Lady P, oh, blushing now. Oh my goodness. Okay, my goodness. Need a fan or something. Lady P, scandalous, scandalous. So, yeah, I guess they're moving away from ransomwaring and leaving it on your systems, and instead just RMRFing it and then dumping it somewhere. I saw something like that for what was it? There was a data leak, Australia medical breach. uh, yeah, there we go. Medibank, that's what it was. Medibank has urged its customers to be on high alert after criminals began leaking sensitive medical records stolen from the Australian health insurance giant. Revel, apparently. I'll pay them $15 a month per terabyte if they have a good restore. I bet they don't. I bet they don't. It said they wouldn't pay the ransom demand, saying we believe it's only a limited chance of paying a ransom would ensure the return of our customers' data and prevent it from being published. So they believe even if they paid it, it would still be published anyway. So why pay the ransom only to have them do what they're doing now when we don't pay for it? It's a toss up, right? Cyber criminals selectively separated the first sample of Australian breach victims into naughty and good lists. Okay. One record carries F122, which corresponds with cannabis dependence under the International Classification of Diseases, ICD 10, I believe, is the code for that. Wow. I believe the leaked data names high-profile Medibank customers, visitors, senior government lawmakers, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, and Cybersecurity Minister Claire O'Neill. Oh, that's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. So, yeah, I mean, that's we'll go back to the other ones. So, oh, sorry, I'll get rid of that. We'll talk about that next. So yeah, they're unclear motive for the attacks. They West didn't help ransomware enough. They say the malware corrupts data in 666 byte chunks. Of course, the Judeo-Christian mark of the devil being the number 666. We took a look at as of a new destructive data wiper manually crafted in assembly using FASM, multi-threaded intermittent overriding of original content, fast, effective, unfortunately unrecoverable data wiper. Right. If infected, there's no way to recover encrypted files, so victims should reinstall Windows just to be safe. Well, yeah, that's unfortunate. I wonder how smart it is if it actually seeks out network shares or backups or hides, and then we'll come back with the backups or what have you. That unfortunately is not only the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services warned of Venus ransomware is targeting healthcare organizations in the U.S. As if we didn't have enough trouble with healthcare sectors. I often wondered about health records and things. It's like, what if the hospital didn't store health records? Or didn't have access to them when you weren't there? You know? I'm just thinking out loud. I'm not blue sky thinking. Oh. But I mean, it's like, is there a way for you? I mean, it could be as simple as, credit card or something. There's no numbers, so don't worry about it. It's on the back, chip, unless you can actually read the contents on that chip. Um, what if it was like that, where it was like, tap to pay or something like that, where it's like they don't have access to it, or it's I don't want to say centralized location because that's kind of what systems are now. We have several hospital systems here in the Pacific Northwest that actually have integrations, if you will, almost like a Salesforce type integration where hospitals can reach across to Cerner or the big EMRs and pull your records that way instead of having paper copies or what have you. But what if they didn't have that? What if they have the data but it's sitting in like a blob that can't be touched? Or what, even better, what if the credit card had all your health records on it and they couldn't do anything until you badged in or logged in, and then it had an ephemeral copy that worked until I don't know. It just seems like, why do we allow companies to store that information? Are we worried that they will? Are they worried that the customers can't take care of their own data? It just feels weird. I don't know. Just seems like there should be a better way of doing these things. Um, yeah, yeah, Lady Peace, Amazon Prime subscription, very cool. Yep. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Appreciate it. Well, most doctors I visited seem to use client server or websites. It's the back end servers that get hit. That Sure, yeah. But again, why do they have to store Why do they have to store that information on the back end servers? Or you know, I'm just I don't know. I'm not trying to solve any problems here. I am trying to solve problems, but I'm trying to think of it in terms of, why do we allow them to control our data? It's almost like when you work in the EU, certain companies, when they work in France or Germany, they have data sovereignty, right? And they're doing data sovereignty for whole countries. Why can't we have individual data sovereignty? We're decentralizing fucking social media now with all the Mastodon shit. Um, it just it seems like data sovereignty for the person could be easy to do. I don't want to say we just do this, but it's like we've donated all this information. we don't have any control over it, and it's arguably the most valuable data that we have, our most valuable asset outside of our own personal body. And we just give it away to people and an industry that does not do their due diligence. Has someone has to store the medical records? Maybe we just outsource it to AWS storage. Walt, that's not a bad idea. I'm not saying AWS storage, but it's like, yeah, they have to store the blob. They have to store the information for you, because obviously you could have a copy on your credit card record thingy, and unless you were able to log in or do something to sync your medical record there, that would be a thing. Hey, Beta Wolf, what's up? Are you enjoying your vacation? We're talking about health records and stuff, because there's been ransomware targeting, um, things, but then Venus malware is hitting U.S. healthcare organizations, and then MetaBank got hit by what was that called? REvil. REvil got hit MetaBank. So we're not trying to solve problems, but I'm just asking the question of data, almost like data sovereignty, but it's like they store. So yeah, Beta Wolf. So we were talking. I was asking the question about why do we allow healthcare providers to store data based, without any kind of control. It's like we give it to them, and then it's like, oh yeah, they're going to take good care of it, and obviously they don't. So I was like, what if we had the key, or what if we could, make it so that there was some kind of additional trust or something like that before people could access it or decrypt it, or do what have you. And I brought up like credit card or something like that, and I'm like, we get insurance cards here in the U.S. where we have insurance cards, with paper on that. I don't understand why. I hate using the word just, but I don't understand why we can't just have an insurance card that is kind of like our key to be able to gain access to that information. And you log in, you come into your doctor's office, you tap it just like the doctors do. Yes, you'd think the same bank approach to bare metal hardware tokens to access it. Yeah, see, exactly. Something similar to that. Yes. Um, most banks, people on the street are so awesome at protecting their 2FA tokens, right? Look, I am not a fan of people having 2FA tokens, uh, but people have credit cards. People have mobile devices with payment enclaves in them that you can use to tap and pay. Um, I would argue that if I lose my phone that has the key on it with my medical records, one person has lost their medical records, right? If in the current system we have how many people here? How many people are now wondering if they're, 500,000 customers potentially. No, 9.7 million customers' personal details on Tuesday. If I had something on my phone that required the healthcare system to unlock my record if they wanted to look at it. Let's say I call in to a doctor's office and I say, I want to see the proctologist for a colonoscopy because I'm old, Okay, sure, Mr. Brake, we're going to, send you an email, or we're going to, we need you to tap on the app. We're not gonna send you a code. We're not gonna send you an email. We're not gonna send you an SMS code. We need you to open the app on your phone and tap authorize for the next 45 minutes, however long it takes them to do these things. They do whatever it is they need to do in their app. They edit these things. Lady P says, okay, that's a fair point that only a careless person is compromised. What happens when they send your blood to the lab? What happens when they send your radiographs to a specialist on the other side of the country, etc.? Yeah, I've already asked my doctor that because I was in there for this thing on the side of my head. I don't know if y'all can still see it or not, but I had it was a liver spot. I thought it was because I had a friend who had a melanoma scare, and I had this big thing on the side of my head, and I was worried that it was melanoma. So I went in and I talked to the doctor, and I was like, "Hey, what is this thing?" And he's like, "Oh, it's a knowledge spot. I think he fucking called it." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh yeah, you get them as they get older." And he showed me. I was like, It's a liver spot." He's like, "Yeah, I don't like calling him that." And I was like, "Okay, that's fine." So let me see what we got here. My chart would enable some systems like this, considering my chart is one of the most used apps. That's true. I think my doctor uses my chart as well. Walt says, "I can't. Why can't a business have secure records? Send like the problem that is computer systems. Seems like the problem is that computer systems are still far too open." Lady P says, "If it's secured to your card, then anything that isn't POS can't be decoded elsewhere." Yeah, see, I'm sure that there are challenges, and I'm sure that there are people who've already, much smarter than me trying to figure this stuff out. It just sucks that we have no control over how the data is being stored. Our data is being stored inside, and we have no. It's not like uh, social media. It's not like Amazon where I can go in and I can delete my payment information, or I can go into Twitter and delete all of my message texts or anything like that. Healthcare, it's like, all right, yeah, you're just gonna drop your shit anywhere, and we're gonna put it wherever we want because we care about you, and we're gonna do whatever. Walt says, "I moved from one system to another. My chart dumped all the records to an export file that can be imported." Yeah, I talked to my doctor about that when I got my liver spot removed. I need to be able to take carves of my stuff from my dentist, from my medical record, because I'm going down to San Diego, completely new healthcare system, probably. They don't have Swedish down there, so it's going to be Kaiser Permanente, or it's going to be Palomar, Palmerado, something like that. Anyway, I was like, I need to be able to do an export of my medical records. And they're like, yeah, yeah, no problem. Just let us know. Same thing for my vet. The vet has still paper copies because they're like, well, we're not as sophisticated as human doctors yet. And I was like, oh, that's fine. That's cool. I don't know anybody who's having to deal with vet bills or whatever, but I'm sure somebody has decided that. I still believe your records shouldn't be able to be tied to legal you. Every time I change providers, I burn the legend and use a new one, but I'm a weirdo. I'm not agreeing that you're a weirdo. I'm just, they shouldn't be able to be tied to, legal people or those. Yeah. Yeah. I just wish we had, it's the only part of our lives outside of, well, okay, our credit rating, but it's one of the few things in our lives that we actually have no control over our own data. And we're completely beholden to a publicly traded health organization in some cases, or whatever. We have no control over that data. Once it's gone, medical records are gone, that kind of thing. I mean, I've been hit 2 OPM breaches, the VA's been hit, Equifax, of course. But it's like we have no control over that data. We can't go in and just delete it from my chart because it's going to be there. You can't go into my chart and delete your medical records. I don't know. What, you know what? I've never actually tried. It just seems like that's something I would guess that they wouldn't allow you to do. Could you delete your medical records out of out of your EMR? I'd imagine not. They won't allow you to manage your own data. So it's just really weird. You don't control your own data. You can't control your own data. And unless we all walk around with big fat file folders of paper from every doctor's appointment that we go to, then we're pretty much screwed until a better system comes around. Actually, and this changed the last decade, but you were able to delete your records. There was a law just passed, maybe Washington State, that legally requires the doctor to give you a copy of your data. CPO, I believe, part of the High Trust Act. High Trust. I don't know if High Trust was ever implemented, but when I was doing healthcare audits, one of the EMR requirements for um, HIPAA and High Trust was being able to export that information out of a system. Also, they could do attestation records, like who all touched your records. Part of the EMR at the time. This was back in 2012, 2013, but it was a requirement to export your medical records and everybody who touched them. Portability, yeah, portability, yeah. Used to be your cell phone number when you got a new phone would change, and then my wife was working on the working group for cell phone portability process, and so that's why everybody can keep their cell phone numbers when they move phones and stuff. Um, yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of things involved with that. But yeah, portability is definitely a thing that you can do. I think it's part of the P in HIPAA, maybe. But yeah, it just sucks that we don't have control over that. Anyway, so it's going to suck. It's going to continue to suck because healthcare providers think they know how to control our data and they don't. So you see the pink on the barbecue here. There was a news story about a woman in North Carolina called 911 because this place, Clyde Cooper's in North Carolina, in Raleigh, North Carolina, had pink meat. Now, I will say it was pork, I would imagine. But she called 911 because she said there was pink meat, and she sent it back to them, and they're like, no, 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 that's from the smoke, as he says. He said, oh, honey, it's the South. People do that shit there. I don't agree with it. Shot of the pink smoked meat, so it's pink, it's pink, it's pink. If it's pork, oh yeah, there's only one P, and it stands for portability. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's not HIPAA, it's not HIPPA. Yeah, that's not HIPPA, it's HIPAA. A lot of people get that wrong. I think the Netherlands still allows you to delete records and/or they get auto deleted in 20 years. Could you? I wonder if you can invoke GDPR on that, the right to be forgotten on medical records, or maybe they have specific requirements for that. Oh, wait, I'm still showing meat. Um, but yeah, they yeah, I don't know. You would think GDPR, Beta Wolf, would make it a requirement to be able to forget people. And if you don't want your medical records being stored any longer, you could do that. I would imagine hospitals are like, are you crazy? You're just gonna have to put all that information in again when you come in. I'd be like, I already have to, right? I already have to fill out a form talking about my shit. Um, you know, uh, yeah, I don't know, but it just sucks that they're not doing their due diligence. We need a US GDPR. Well, yeah, all of EU will delete on a time-based or on request. Um, Beta Wolf, where was I? We were dealing with that at, yeah. Lady P, I was thinking about, because I said we're not all walking around with file folders of our stuff. That was the exact thing that I was thinking about when I was mentioning that. Patrick Swayze's character was like in the hospital getting stitched up. Spoiler alert, he lives in the movie. But yeah, he had all of his records being kept because he was like, he's a bouncer to the club. But yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking about when I was walking around with my file folder of medical records. And that was back in the late 80s. So, but yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, this woman called, yeah, always carry your medical, save time. That's right. That's right. Saves him having to, go through all that. Yeah, and you seen the picture of him and all of his scars and everything, the lady who he's, gets together with. Military be wild if you actually want to access your medical records. Actually, I want to say I still have my medical records on paper here. One of the things I wanted to do before we moved, because when you separate from the military, they tell you to get 3 copies of your dental records, 3 copies of your medical record, and I believe you can get a copy of your service record as well before they're sent to BUPERS for the Navy anyway. I don't know what Army and Marine Corps, and Navy, and or Army, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard do. Um, but yeah, I have copies of my medical record and my dental records in there, um, as well as yeah, I think one of my service records. So, and my DD-214, which I still have. I actually made a copy of that, is on my Google Drive since forever and a day. But yeah, thanks, Beta Wolf. Yeah, happy Veterans Day to everyone. You know, oh, Lady P, when I was in the Navy, there wasn't a Space Force. So yes, I'm sorry, Space Force. If I knew the Spaceballs salute, I would do that. What was it like? Something like this? I don't remember. Some kind of Spaceballs. Wait, I gotta go look that up now. Spaceballs salute. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 Oh no! There it goes. Oh my god! Oh my! Fuck! Oh my god! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot that. Oh Jesus. Nope. Nope. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. No, Lady P on one today. Oh my goodness. Yes. Many businesses treat records that they take about you as theirs and not your records. It's a point of view that needs to change for businesses like medical. Yeah, exactly. Because obviously we value them more than the hospitals do. Otherwise, they would do whatever it took to secure those, right? And the whole idea of who would attack a hospital, nobody should ever ask that question ever again. Ever again. Spicy there. Spicy there, Lady P. Spicy. But yeah, it's yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and I don't know if it'll get better. It's going to take government intervention, I think, to do that. Healthcare providers won't tolerate any friction in the treatment process. Yeah, I don't think healthcare providers are going to be able to do anything about that once, all it takes is, I don't know what it would take, but at some point the government's going to weigh in on that, whether or not they like it, and it's going to be like, oh, woe is us. We're going to have to spend a lot of money, whatever. You're hurting our shareholders, which is the wrong people to worry about. Oh, our profits are going to go away. You know, some of these big healthcare companies and healthcare firms and hospital systems, you know, they'll just have to keep, shaking babies and, rubbing hands and all this shit and get another couple $1 million or whatever to do whatever is necessary. Um, I think education security is probably the other direction on that. Government can override healthcare providers when they choose to. Yeah, they have to choose to, though. And the fines that they impose upon healthcare systems, again, it's like, it is what it is. Anyway, I need to find something that's not all doom and gloom. Yeah, unions are no joke. We had, yeah, we just got, there were several strikes up here by hospital workers, pretty much union hospital workers, nurses, I think, for the most part, in the last 3 or 4 months, pretty much. And to hear some people talk, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this. And all I could say was, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing that. They should have done it, years ago, because if anything, COVID showed us that those folks were getting treated like shit. They're still getting treated like shit, and they need pay raises, man. They need pay raises. If it takes a new bond levy or something, I'd be all for it, because I don't want an overworked nurse trying to give me 100 milligrams of heparin, or making a mistake that's gonna put my family or myself in jeopardy. I want somebody who's a lot of manning. EMR was a friction. It got forced. Hmm. Yep. 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 They arrested somebody for Lockbit ransomware campaign. Oh, Mikhail Vasiliev. Weird. Sounds Russian. He's in Canadian custody awaiting extradition to the United States. Well, that's on you, 33-year-old Vasilev. Don't be an idiot and live in a country where they have a nice extradition treaty with the U.S. So, whoops. Authorities also used his Bitcoin holdings to connect him to criminal schemes. No! Wait, that's supposed to be untraceable. What? Bitcoin's supposed to be untraceable. Shit. Well, there goes my plans for world domination, I guess. It is what it is. More food retail giant got hit by ransomware. Man, InfoSec is nothing but ransomware. Jesus. Well, I guess I shouldn't go to ransomware.com or something, should I? Secret sauce to cook zero trust. No, thank you. Best part of cryptocurrency crashing, crime really doesn't pay now. What was that? FTX? Was it FTX? Something like that, right? FTX. Files for bankruptcy. Yeah. Holy shit about this. Crypto giant files for bankruptcy as CEO resigns in a stunning downfall. So FTX Group filed for bankruptcy in the United States. Its CEO has resigned. 30-year-old weasel remains to assist in orderly transition. Yeah, we're so much better. Well, the UK version is so much better. They have an accent when they speak. So it sounds so much better when they declare bankruptcy in court. Bankruptcy proceedings include FTS US, the hedge fund Alameda, and about 130 other sister companies. So it's not just, thanks, Beta Wolf. The bankruptcy, wow. So 130 odd companies are being under bankruptcy protection because they lost $10 to $50 billion of estimated liabilities and assets. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right? If your whole, if all of your money is up into something that's super volatile and you say we have $50 billion in assets, well, you had 50 billion yesterday. You have $2 today. So they say, so anybody who had money in the FTX is pretty much effed. Yeah. They were riding their Lambos and their mansions and shit. I mean, the good thing is you didn't hear about this guy just taking all the money and going to the Crimea or something like that. I mean, if anything, this person wanted to be, good. The lawyer who oversaw the liquidation of Enron is also now the person is the CEO. Yes, Lady P. I'm really sorry we ended up here. Oh, that makes it better. He said sorry, right? He said sorry. Hopefully things can find a way to recover. You think maybe he shouldn't have been a CEO? After sweating him for 6 months, he gave up the password for the private key. The U.S. took the whole $3.5 billion as a seizure from Silk Road. No, this is something different, isn't it, Walt? There was somebody who found 50,000 Bitcoin, and I think that was a different story. They had found 50,000 Bitcoin in a vault. No, there it is. You're talking about this one, right, Walt? Silk Road Bitcoin. This is a different story. I'm not exactly sure how they did it, unless I'm imagining reams of paper with hashes on it that are really Bitcoin hashes. Yeah, they announced 50,676 Bitcoin from a 32-year-old in Georgia, fraudulently obtained from Silk Road. James Zong pleaded guilty to the crime on Friday after they found the Bitcoin stored in an underground safe. Oh, I see. Yeah. So what is physical Bitcoin? I'm imagining physical Bitcoin is just a big hash, right? I mean, I'm 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 imagining like a piece of paper with a hash on it, and that's a Bitcoin. Am I wrong in that thinking? And how do you own? Yeah, he did. He did a double withdrawal. It was a not a race. It was a race condition. You see, he registered 9 fake accounts. Yeah, and then he was pulling them out once or twice, and it couldn't keep up. Yeah, doesn't go in depth how it tracked the stolen Bitcoin. Just know that they tracked the stolen Bitcoin. Part of what got Zong caught was a call he made to the police in 2019, reported a burglary listing a lot of Bitcoin among the items. Yeah, I don't know what physical Bitcoin looks like. I mean, they always show that picture of like minted coins with a B on it or whatever, but that's not really the case. It is a hash stored on a mag card. Oh, mag card, really? Huh. I didn't know it was a mag card. I just imagined like printer paper with like, hashes on it. And if you wanted to ever spend it, you had to, fat finger it in, you know, that kind of thing. Like a credit card or a gift card. That makes more sense. Okay, that makes way more sense. So somewhere there was a credit card with bitcoins on it. So okay. So this is the underground safe. Oh, so it was in the floor, all like spy like and shit. And got a little bit of cash in there too. So US Gov said that the fruits of Silk Road, so they're keeping it. Oh, Walt, you make that sound like they said it's Silk Road, but it's not really Silk Road, but they're saying it's Silk Road so they can keep it. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Well, that's all secret squirrel shit and everything, hiding it in there like that. I guess it's the only place you could put it because if you tried to put a safe on my wall here, there'd be a big ass like lump outside my window or my wall there. So not very secret, right? Probably have to be an interior wall or something like that. Hmm. It is worth noting in absolute terms that the seizure involves significantly more Bitcoin, 95,000 Bitcoin instead. What? Okay. Seized early, topped only by 3.6 billion in a case that involved a wrapper. Okay, so that one's different. It's hard to pry and almost impossible to carry away. I will take that challenge, Lady P. I I got cats that can lift, dozens and dozens of pounds. So yeah, I got this. Oh God, don't do that, IRS investigator. Come on, that's the Mandiant defense, a sophisticated scheme. Carried out a series of complex transactions designed to hide the ill got. So he laundered it through some kind of Tumblr or what have you. Cats, like cats, like meow, meow, meow. Anyway, doing this 140 times emptied the Silk Road's coffers. The site kept a maximum of 50,000 on hand at a given time. Yes, every scheme is sophisticated if someone's an idiot. Um, and the IRS investigator probably just can spell Bitcoin, but doesn't actually. God damn you! God damn you, Fatal Wolf! Don't do that. Oh man. Oh well. It's fine. It's fine. Make your clips. So, but yeah. So this guy doesn't look like he needs to be a CEO of anything. The fact that Crypto Bro got smacked down. Problem is he's not going to serve any time for this. So how many people have lost what 10 to 50 billion dollars of estimated value? That's true. If you're a subscriber, you can grab the recordings and download them. Or if you use something like YTDLP, which is a YouTube downloader fork. Hey, Beta, do you have Amazon Prime? I'm just a poor boy from a poor family. if you have Amazon Prime, Beta Wolf, you can use, yes, you can Amazon Prime subscribe like Lady P did earlier. The only problem is you have to remember to do it. So if you set it up and you actually want to continue doing it, make a reminder for yourself in your phone. Hey, Amazon Prime subscribe, or if you find somebody else that you want to do that for, you can do that for. But yeah, so yeah, this guy should not have been a CEO of anything, and now people are asked out. I mean, there you go, Lady P. I was wondering if I was like somebody is like they played the next line on that, so it sucks. I'm hoping that he has to give up his as well. Bankman-Fried has been one of the faces of the crypto industry, amassing a fortune, and once totaling 25 billion that has since vanished. You're the only person I watch here. I reinstalled the app just thank you. Appreciate that. Once totaling $25 billion. It's only 25 billion if you're sitting there looking at the greenbacks in your hand. Otherwise, it's just like ones and zeros. He was viewed as crypto world's white knight stepping in to rescue struggling companies. FTX, backed by elite investors like BlackRock and Sequoia, rapidly became one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world. Galileo, Galileo, Galileo. Hello, MSAC. How you doing? Galileo Figaro. Like buying half a social media company. Yeah. Well, Meta might be up for sale if they can't stop the bleeding. So, I'm sorry. That was my contribution to karaoke. I can do that because I'm not looking at anybody. I don't actually see anybody here when I'm singing. So, yeah, that's all you get. But the other thing is, because there's no oversight from the government, he can't really be sued. Can he be sued for negligence? Maybe in civil court? I don't know. Is there? I would imagine there's class action lawsuits being lined up for this guy, but he's got nothing. So what are they gonna pay? And that's the one thing I've never quite understood about things like class action lawsuits. It's like, yeah, you can like Alex Jones, fucker, trillions of dollars that he's being hit on for class actions, and he's got no money. His company has no money because they got janked. Great, you can only squeeze so much blood out of a turnip for malfeasance, can't you? I mean, great. He's they're gonna sue him for what, $100 billion, 50 billion plus 50 billion for hardship and mental damage or whatever. He's got nothing. Great, he'll be paying for that forever. Great, we got $100 billion that we're going to get from him in 300 billion years. That kind of thing. 1 penny a day for the rest of his life. There's oh man, yeah, you can't flay him for the $20. So yeah, it's just like potentially MSEC. Yeah, I mean, it's just you're going to pay more in lawyers' fees than you're going to get out of the guy. So some of the Jones records showed that he was pulling tens of millions of dollars a month. Right, Walter, I read some of that stuff too. I mean, he was until he was, I think, delisted by YouTube. But yeah, he was making fat loot. Great. I can't live on principle there, Beta Wolf. And I mean, principle is in like, so these damaged goods. It's all well and good, but the lawyer that I just paid for is wanting, a couple of $100,000 for legal defense. So I can do that, but thank you, CPO. Appreciate. Oh, thanks for the Prime Gaming, bruh. Find a better way. Yeah, maybe you know what? Maybe you could make him like do a bunch of PSAs on like don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy cryptocurrency. Look what happened to me. I'm a dumbass. And I seem to remember like when RJR lost their fight against class action saying tobacco is bad and cigarettes are bad. They actually had somebody reading on a TV commercial the what I guess what the lawsuit had stipulated, that they're going to say, hey, we are RJR and cigarettes are bad. Um, you could stake him out in front. Wow, Lady P's going old school. A piece of halibut was good enough for Jehovah. There you go. Yeah. Um, that's an old movie line. None of you know that one. So if you do, 100 quatloos to you. 100 quatloos. But yeah, it sucks because there are people who are in FTX that thought they were going to be able to retire with their Lambos and their fat loots. Cigarettes have said they were bad on them for decades. Yes, but I believe that there was like a legal judgment where they actually had to go on to TV and say, RJR says that these are bad and these are evil and what have you. I think there was something. I seem to remember that a couple years ago. It might have been pre-pandemic, so I've got pandemic brain, but I seem to remember seeing a couple of commercials where it was like, "Whoa, I can't believe they just said that." Whoa. Um, damn it. I knew Lady P would get that at. Damn. He's a naughty boy. Let me see. Workspace attack surface. Oh, this might be an interesting series of blog posts. I've been trying to find more blog posts after joining the Mastodons. Seems like that there's a lot of new content out there. I've been following more hashtags recently, trying to find people. I don't understand the introduction things. I wish I could. I can probably block those introduction tags. I get it. They're trying to pull the MySpace or trying to be different. I don't know what that means, but Beta Wolf, you got blocked, bruh. Oh, you got that. I am not going to allow that one, Beta Wolf. I'm not going to block you, but I Police Wadwick. Yeah, no, yes. Yeah, that was going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, so there's there are some people that are posting up things here I'm following on. Look, I got an auto mod, Beta Wolf. I have to, because the world is a vampire, sent to drain, seek and destroy, hold you up to the flame. Yeah, I mean, you got to have an auto mod on Twitch. You got to have something, code of conduct. I mean, when you click on the send a message, don't be a d-bag, that kind of stuff. You have to have those guardrails. I'm not going to allow that post, but you know the movie. That's all that matters. I appreciate you. I'm not going to block you, but yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's good stuff. But there are some people that have joined InfoSec Exchange that I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but that is true. That's true. Yes, that is true there, Beta Wolf. It's not your fault. There are a couple of people inside of infosec.exchange that are new, at least to me. I don't know them specifically, but like the one I saw this morning, um, we're talking about, he's humble bragging that he's been invited to like 12 conferences this year and was surprised. Does everybody do that? What does this look like? And he was like, oh, I'm just unfortunate that it's, I'm getting invited to all these things. And I had to ask the question. I was like, I don't know who the fuck you are, and I've never seen you at any real conference. The only thing I can think of is you've gone to like corporate infosec conferences or something. Yeah, he was an author or something like Intro to InfoSec or something like that. He wrote a book. Um, I'm still not unhappy about following hashtags. I just don't want to be following another 1,000 people and then it's just garbage. So started following the OSINT tag just recently. Oh yeah, Google Play Store, caught infecting users. That's, supply chain issue. Malicious Google Play Store apps spotted distributing xenomorph banking Trojans. Yay, banking Trojans. Spot all my rage. I'm still just a rat in a cage. Yeah. So I'm not drunk. I just, I feel good. Yesterday, we went to, so I didn't grow up rich. At least I don't think I was rich. I mean, we had a house. We lived in a trailer and stuff. And I'm following anyone that follows me from any instance possible where I spin off my private instance. I'll have better federation. Yeah, I thought about doing that for like one of our streams here. It was like, here's how easy it is to set up a Mastodon instance. Um, be advised, if you get popular like Jerry does over at InfoSec Exchange, you're going to be dropping fat loot on 40 core processor and for a CPU or you know doing whatever. But there are how tos on how to set up Mastodon for a device, and I've installed Docker on the little box that I used for our LAN party. And I thought, well, if I set up an instance of one, I probably will be okay, and I could probably try running it and seeing what happens. I have no interest in having yet another community. Um, Lady P says the delivery is complicated. I wonder what you have to open on like firewalls or something. If it's just 443, then that's fine. But you do have to have we should probably say activity pub. Oh, right, activity pub. Right. The activity pub runs the Fediverse, if you will. You only need 80 and 443 and SSH. Well, I mean, you only need 443 open to the internet. SSH would be, internally. But yeah, I think I'm assuming you don't need SSH exposed to the internet, so that's fine. You do need a domain though. That's the other thing. I've every how-to tutorial I've seen set up requires you to have a domain name. So I have threatbud.xyz, which I registered on Google on GoDaddy. Um, you must have a domain name. Yeah. So yeah, yeah. Um, but yeah, so here's Google Play Store, malicious apps, expense tracker app exhibited similar behavior but noted it couldn't extract the URL to fetch the malware artifact. Right. The at, it's like email addresses or whatever, mastodon.social or infosec.exchange. Beta Wolf, Lady P, can you implement that? Implement what there, Beta Wolf? You mean like a Mastodon instance? I'll let Lady P answer that, but I think I know the answer to that. I don't know. Now, there's no shortage of them. How to set up a Mastodon instance on Linux, how to set up how to set up and install Mastodon, how to install Mastodon server on 2004. Why would you use 2004? Oh, it's 2021. Okay. 1804. This was from February of this year. Maybe you use a newer version of Ubuntu there, buddy. You need root access, a domain name for the server, example.com, and an email delivery service or SMTP server. Really? What do you need the SMTP for? Make sure curl, wget, GNU PG, apt transport HTTPS, LSB. What is it? What the fuck? Signups. Oh, yeah. We'll send you an email. Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting, Lady P. You say you're only drinking the sites that you follow in Global Federation. Can you have an instance follow another instance? Because that might actually be a good reason to set up your own personal Mastodon. If you can just say, I want my instance to follow these instances. Don't worry, Beta Wolf. You're right here with me. I'm confused too. This is again the reason that I'm not optimistic that a Mastodon will go anywhere. If you have to have this much thinking to be social, if you're following people on an instance, then that instance is globally federated to you. Okay, but if you're not following people on an instance, that instance is not globally federated to you. See, what I'd love to do is just to be able to follow the RSS that a Mastodon has. I'm, I want to say my friend Mr. Taggart created a super thread for this. Let me go find MT Taggart's. Again, this was back when I was being all salty and shit, but it's like, if you have, not MTTY, MTTAGGART. Let me see, where is it? Questions. I don't know what that is. No context theater on that one. Can I do Mastodon? 2 weeks away. Great to feel back. Yeah. This is where I was getting all salty and shit, I think, on this. Let's see. Currently, super threads. Oh, there we go. So you can go read this because he's all in on it, which I he's very, I love the man. He's an awesome dude. There we go. That architecture with no global search helps prevent stalking and ganging up on people, right? If I don't follow anyone on ThreatBud and ThreatBud doesn't have anyone following me, then they don't exist. Yeah, see, that's my problem. I don't follow anybody on InfoSec Exchange. The only way I get content from those instances is if they use the right hashtags. If they use hashtags. If they don't use hashtags, I don't see anything that's in that instance, which is kind of annoying. So like if they don't use cybersecurity or information security, if they don't use these, then I don't get anything because I don't follow anyone. I have zero people I'm following, but 91 followers. So I'm assuming the people who follow me, when I post something, they see it because I'm in mastodon.social. So they must see the stuff in mastodon.social as well. Okay, so if I follow Jerry inside infosec.exchange, I get everything inside the instance. On global tab, yes. Okay. Okay, so I don't need to make 30 different accounts across instance because I have an infosec.exchange and a mastodon.social. I have mastodon.social because that's the one I use. But I also have an infosec.exchange one, which I don't log into because I thought, well, I'm going to have 30 different accounts across 30 different instances. It's because I just didn't grok what was going on. That's why I said, fuck it, I'll just use hashtags. But yeah, so great introductions. I'm gonna have to start blocking introductions, I think. I mean, I appreciate those, but goddamn. Definitely you don't, because InfoSec Exchange is like the 26th largest instance now. They get everything globally. Need to get the InfoSec streams hashtag going. Yeah. The problem with, I can enter more hashtags. InfoSec streams. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like on some of these I can't add InfoSec, like InfoSec. It comes up with 2 C's, and I it's like I think I've already railed against this once. Sounds vaguely familiar, but I can't add InfoSec unless I click on it and add another category, and then like cybersecurity. I've already followed cybersecurity, but if I wanted to follow Canada, sometimes I'll type in Canada and nothing will come up. And you can't put more than 4 tags in a box here. So like I can't put Canada. Oh, great. I can't click Canada. This is the other thing that annoys the out of me, okay? I want Canada. So put a space. You would think, I know you just want Canada. No, I get Canada COVID. I get Canada yeah. Bullshit, 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 bullshit. It's like now I have to click on Canada and then I have to pin it. That's the only way I can add that as a hashtag. MSEC, I'm gonna undo that. So when you go into preferences, I believe it is the auto advanced web interface. If you want to make use of your entire screen width, the advanced interface allows you to configure many different columns to see as much information at the same time as you want. Home, notification, federated timeline, any number of lists and hashtags. Advanced web interface. So, and then I turn off like reduce motion and animations. I don't autoplay animated GIFs. Yeah, I like it because it's like Twitch. It's like TweetDeck for me. When I use TweetDeck, I don't use Twitter handle, so I have all of my stuff in here. Oh, that's nice. That's real America right there. Ooh, TweetDeck is down. No, okay, there you go. So yeah, it reminded me of this. I have all my stuff. Oh, there's me and my lovely wife. I think we were in a fjord. Let me see. This is we were on Holland America. I think we were in. I think we were in Iceland that day. So yeah, that was me. So there we go. Oh, that's sweet. There we go. So yeah. I'm not gonna click on that. No, can't make me click on it. There it is. Yes. This I was looking for this for I think MT Taggart had posted this up as well. So yeah. Am I following at foo? No. Is my foo on my instance? No. Does someone on my instance follow foo? Yeah. 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 I'm sure there's a bunch of shit I'm forgetting and missing on Mastodon, and that's the problem. This is way too complicated for Joe average user to use. And to be honest, I'm seeing just a bunch of white people on there too. So I've suggested to some groups that hopefully they'll get online and hook up with those as well. The problem is there's going to be the Linuxization of this, where you're going to have, like Lady P said, there's infosec.exchange is the 26th largest Mastodon instance available. There's going to be 300 million Mastodon instances, but it's only the top 50 that matter, right? Just like with Linux, you got Debian, you got Ubuntu as a sub version of that, but then you got the Fedoras, the CentOSs, and then the other ones, there's like tons that don't matter, like DistroWatch. That's still a thing. It's where I used to go for all of my Linux news. God damn it, just type shit. Yeah. So it's like, oh, great. Here's Alma Linux OS. Whoop-de-doo. Deep in. Whoop-de-freaking-doo. Great. All these. Okay, there's Clonezilla. Okay. It's like, oh, great. All these ones that nobody knows about. Nitrux, whatever. Okay. You know what? And not if you worked on your deliverability. That's why I'm following so many curating instances. So I would be potentially better connected than even InfoSec. Oh, God. It sounds like a lot of work there, Lady P. Because, yeah. I get it. I mean, I can follow people. I guess, there's going to be a minimum needed to follow eventually. Yeah, with Usenet, though, you could, when you connected to the NNTP server, there was a list and you could filter out the ones you wanted. If I could go to Mastodon and say, give me all the InfoSec ones, and then it'd be like, here's the 500,000 InfoSec instances, or the ones that have InfoSec as a hashtag or something like that. And I could just go follow, 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 done. And then I can just get those feeds, but I'm not going to be able to do that. I don't know what you said 4.0 gets better. I don't know. Your list was never as big as MIT's list, so you weren't as well connected. So it's like Discord. Yeah. Disboard for Discord. I didn't even know about Disboard. I mean, look, the fact that we have, well, not all of these OpenBSDs still on it. Wow. OpenBSDs dropped to 76. Google Disboard. What is Google Disboard? Oh, okay. Interesting. Yes. Hell, even if there was, something like this where I could say, InfoSec. I'm not even on here. You have to have enough people to be a community. So BreakSec won't be on here because we only have 182 members. I'm not even technically a community board, even though I've set everything up to be community once we get so many people. Nope, you have to have the bot. That's it. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they have 157 for this one. Okay. 312, 3,226 for certification station. Wow. Jesus. Oh, okay. Which bot is this? Let me see. Disboard? That's all I have to have is the Disboard bot? I guess I can lock it down. Might be helpful. Place the Disboard bot on your Discord and bump your Discord server often, and it gets listed. Beta Wolf, what is bump? Instances.social. I am just so trusting of Lady P and clicking on her links. Oh, hey, look at that. Great. Now we have, I wonder how many of these address spaces it's the command for the bot. Oh, okay. Bump. Prohibited content, allowed content, languages. Max users, min users. That shouldn't matter. Well, if you want a busy server, I guess you can. I'd imagine if you pick a busy one like Koto or whatever, your timeline's going to just be blasting because you got 24,000 users on it. My Discord uses it and it's grown a lot. Okay, you've convinced me, Beta Wolf. I will definitely hook up the Disboard for Discord, and bump that bad boy. So, yes, let's add your server. Oh, well, that was easy enough. No, don't click on that. God damn it. Yeah, that's what I get. I totally forgot about that. There we go. Discord. There we go. Okay. Let me see. Which one is it? I remember plotting all the interconnections for Usenet at one point. Would be interesting to plot the interconnections of ActivityPub. I don't think you have enough computing power for ActivityPub there. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to type in a 6-digit code, and I don't want anybody else to see it because I dorked that up with the last thing. So there we go. All right. Add new server. Select a server. BreakSec community. Okay, who do you think you're... Oh, God. InfoSec, gaming, news, something like that. There we go. All right, we're back up. BreakSec. People like, what the hell is that? Twitch stream. There we go. Up to 5 tags. Okay, well, I get 5 tags. Description. official home, official second home of the Break Sec podcast and Twitch stream. Save. Oh, category cannot be blank. Oh, okay. Technology. Whatever. Oh, I put like break. Crap. I put infosec, gaming, Twitch. I put a handful of things. Sorry, I'm shutting this down again temporarily so that I can type my freaking code in. Okay, there we go. Yes, I'm a freaking human. That's what we would say if we were human. There we go. There we go. All right, well, we've been added. Let's see what happens. Add instant invite and send messages permissions to Discord bot. After that, this command invite. Okay. You don't need to worry. You can share the code with us. We're all trustworthy here. Yeah, I got 4 people plus God knows how many lurkers there are, Lady P. So, I mean, I love the lurkers. Don't run away. Don't run away. But you know what? It's getting dark because it's freaking 4:30 and it's in Seattle and the days are getting shorter. I gotta go get some food. Second it's set up, I'll be the first to bump. Thank you, Beta Wolf. I appreciate that. MSEC, thank you. What is that? What is that? What is that? That guy looks like a doofus. I'm not cool like all that. Oh my, that's not you, is it, MSEC? I apologize if that's you. Oh fuck. What? Look, Digital Warhead, we gotta talk. This is just weird. I mean, it's no eggplant, but it's a little weird. That's it. Oh God, the hot dog. No, I love Digital Warhead too much to do that, and he's a subscriber, so yeah. God damn it, I love that shit. Yeah, so I'm gonna go get some barbecue, pink barbecue. The lady called 911 because her barbecue was pink, and I think it was probably because um, it was maybe she got pork barbecue, and some animals are more equal than others. Those who go on 2 feet, yeah, exactly, Beta Wolf. But yeah, she called the cops because she felt like she wasn't getting what she had asked for, and she asked them to cook it again, and they're like, it's barbecue, so we'll cook it, but it'll still be pink because of the smoke. And yeah, so she gave a 1-star notice on Google's review thing. She called the cops. They said we can't do anything because it's barbecue. Yeah, and then she just pretty much became a laughing stock. I can't find her online. She doesn't appear to have a social media presence. So I don't know if she used a fake name or not. But yeah, you can go check that out. They didn't interview her. Well, they interviewed her, but they didn't put her on camera. I think they probably didn't want to ridicule her because it was like she never had barbecue before. She did say she'd had barbecue, but it wasn't pink. And I was like, well, you didn't have barbecue then. So yeah. Ew, gross, Lady P. Are you one of those people that have to have their steaks well done? Yeah, Digital Warhead. I thought that too. I was like, you were on TV, Beta Wolf. What channel was it? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lady P. I'll eat your I'll eat your meat. I'll eat your meat for you. That's gonna get me banned. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get so banned. I appreciate the vegan lifestyle. It's very probably difficult to deal with. Oh, okay. Well, I wish I had known about that, Beta Wolf. I would have, I would have yelled and gone, "I know that guy." So anyway, I'm going to go get some dinner, which may or may not involve the eating of dead animals. So sorry, Lady P. I feel lessened now. No, you know what? It's hard to be vegan, I'd imagine. But yeah, thanks all. I'm gonna go raid Maker Deck again because I like doing so. And I appreciate that, Lady P. Thank you so much. All right. Anyway, I'll be on probably more this week because my wife's gone. But yeah, have a good day. Take care of yourselves. Make your deck. Bye.